AskReddit by your Sadaho. What are red flags you didn't notice while dating at a younger age that you see instantly now? The way they argue. There's a lot of things you'd put up with in a high school relationship that you shouldn't put up with in your 30s. It's sad how many people 30 plus haven't emotionally matured past high school. Not having a general feeling of being safe when with the person. I didn't listen to that little voice in my head when I was younger. This is huge. Surprised no one else mentioned it. When someone rushes relationship milestones too fast. Happy 1 week dating. 5 weeks and 3 days since we met. Barb. To the moon and back. Tags you and her entire friend group and immediate family on the FB post. More my own red flags. Like falling more for a person's potential than for who they actually are. Or falling for someone I wanna fix or help. Ties into the first one. I still am super into the damaged ones, but I keep myself from falling into the same pattern. I heard this quote recently. Someone's potential is just what you do if you were them. It honestly floored me. If you have to explain basic empathy with kindergarten teacher, how would that make you feel? Language every time they do something obviously hurtful. Run. Golden rule is supposed to come pre-installed. They will not improve. This is a really good one that I didn't realize till now. Thank you. Fast developing relationships tend to crash and burn. Yes. Also want to add, never let physical attraction blind you from the reality of the situation. They like you and nobody else. Everyone else is evil. Ooh, that's a good one. This is a classic control and manipulation tactic. They're attempting to convince you that they are the only good person in your life so that you become emotionally dependent on them. Trying to push for marriage only 1 month into the relationship. That happened in 2 separate relationships that went on for far too long and only got way worse after that. Red flag. Oh wow, that's crazy. If you ever left me, I'd kill myself, end up in jail, become an alcoholic, etc. Felt like a compliment at the time, but just kept me around way longer than I should have stayed. Not just a red flag. It's something akin to the bat signal. Always talking about how messed up or depressed they are, looking for constant sympathy. Those are the types of people who will suck the life out of you and then attack you out of insecurity. Energy vampires, man. I lost count how many times I would say I'm sorry, babe, every day during my last relationship. Always being too busy to text, call, show their face on a regular basis. Life gets busy, but we all know we make time for the things that matter to us. Totally falls into the vein of if they want to, they will. Even when I'm busy and can't be physically present, I find other ways to be available. If someone can't make themselves available to you a lot of the time, it means you are low on the priority list. I'm severely addict, so this is hard for me, and I give a lot of leeway with others since I know what it's like to struggle with it. But that friend that you know is incredibly high functioning with their job duties, their romantic relationship, etc., and then somehow, it's your text they always take days to respond to. TBH, I have a friend I've worked really hard to remain friends with despite them doing this, but after years, I'm about done with it. I feel like they've sensed it and they are currently trying to hoover me a bit, but I think it's too little too late. Expecting me to make all the compromises. I've moved for men, entirely changing my whole life while not once having one be like, hey, maybe I should be the one to relocate, or we could compromise and move somewhere in the middle. Now it's non-negotiable. If I'm ever in a position where moving is necessary, either we work it out in advance as far as one of us securing a job and the move making sense, or we meet in the middle and keep our jobs and family friends equal distance. Or nothing. This drives me crazy. You're so right. I am very tired of this idea that I need to accept my partners exactly as they are. No, I don't. Who told you that? Your parents and teachers didn't accept you the way you were, that's why you learned grew, and developed. You're supposed to be challenged and you're supposed to improve yourself. That's how life works, buddy. It is not my job to conform my life to who you are. It's your job to work with me so we can create a relationship life together. Not communicating and instead expecting someone to read their mind. And if you don't, it's because you don't care about them. As someone who is autistic, this makes me angry. When they seem to enjoy making you uncomfortable. Edit, but if you decide to call them out on it, it's all just a joke. Saying I have never wanted a kid with anyone until I met you. We should have one not even a month in. Stating how in love they are 24/7. Using their deceased family as some sort of manipulation to make you understand the love and security you now bring them since that deceased family member left. My ex loved to do this. My ex-GF would talk about children and it kinda weirded me out since we were both so young. People who only talk about themselves and show absolutely no interest in the other person. It's because they're not interested and are looking for attention. Who they get it from is interchangeable. Don't try harder, thinking it will make them notice you. It won't. Just walk away. One of the first things I noticed about my current partner is he always asks me, what's your opinion? I realize that my previous partner never asked for my thoughts. It was honestly kind of shocking. If they ditched their previous significant other for a new hookup, there is a high probability that they will do the same to you someday. It blows my mind that anyone would knowingly enter a relationship with someone who is cheating on their so. Just as you say, it seems to me that it should pretty clear that this is not a person who believes in fidelity. Not being able to identify what they bring to the relationship that you value. I always thought this was selfish thinking. But now I look carefully, because eventually if someone isn't contributing, they are just taking. That men who are 5-10 years older than you, when you are 14, tell you that you are so mature for your age, and are interested in you. I remember having a thing with a guy who was 23 when I was 13. Was so excited to be seen as mature by an older guy. I remember on my 23rd birthday seeing my god sister, who was 15 at the time, and feeling sick to my stomach. The idea I'd ever date someone her age or younger? Repulsive. At 30 now, I honestly get a little uncomfortable when my friends date people under 23. And the people I meet that are my age and are hungry for barely legal content? I call them out as much as I can and let them know that's not okay. Those are guys who would go lower if they could find lower. They're dangerous. Anything that resembles I love you more than you like me guilt tripping. Fun response if you don't care about the fallout is prove it. One-sided communication and constantly flaking out on plans. They say givers attract takers and there's definitely truth in that. There is a subtle but important difference between someone being interested in you as a person. Someone being interested in what you can do for them. I think givers also turn givers into takers. At the least, I end up meeting people who claim to be givers, but as soon as they realize that I'll still give even if they don't, they take advantage hard. Whether they were full of shit to begin with, or I'll legitimately believe that taking advantage of me is some sort of karmic gift that they've earned. It reminds me of college psychology experiments that tend to show people cheat and steal, simply because the opportunity presents itself. The ability to differentiate between a girl wanting my attention specifically, and a girl that just wants attention. A person who is nice to you but isn't nice to the waiter, the counter help at the dry cleaners, or just any random person who is in a service position isn't a nice person. If a person has constant drama with her family, friends, employer, the credit card company, the bank, the landlord, the mechanic, and co-workers, then that person is the common denominator in all those problems. Controlling or obsessive about you, Like why would you want to go out with your friends when you have me?